Zoom, the company that made distance feel smaller. For most of human history, collaboration required proximity. If you wanted to work together, you gathered in the same room, the same office, the same classroom, the same conference hall, the same building. Ideas traveled at the speed of transportation. People crossed cities, states, countries, oceans, because meaningful collaboration depended on being physically present. Then one question emerged. What if presence and location became two different things? What if people could collaborate, learn, teach, negotiate, and build relationships without sharing the same physical space? The answer would become one of the defining technologies of the 21st century. This is the story of Zoom, the company that helped make distance feel smaller. One of the biggest misconceptions about Zoom is that it invented video conferencing. It didn't. Video conferencing had existed for decades. Companies such as Cisco, Microsoft, and Skype offered solutions long before Zoom arrived. The technology was real. The adoption was limited. Why? Because many systems felt complicated, difficult to join, difficult to configure, difficult to troubleshoot. The technology worked. The experience often didn't. And throughout Bay Origins, we've seen what happens when Silicon Valley discovers a technology that works but remains difficult to use. Someone eventually simplifies it. In 2011, Eric Yuan founded Zoom in the Bay Area. Before launching Zoom, Yuan worked at WebEx, one of the pioneers in online meetings. He understood something important. The problem wasn't that video communication was impossible. The problem was that many people disliked using it. Meetings failed. Connections dropped. Setups were confusing. The technology created friction, and friction limits adoption. Zoom's breakthrough was not technological invention. It was user experience. Make joining a meeting simple. Make meetings reliable. Make them work across devices. Make them work consistently. A deceptively simple strategy. Yet history repeatedly shows that simplicity can be transformative. Because complexity discourages participation, simplicity encourages it. If you followed Bay Origins, this pattern should feel familiar. Google didn't invent information. It simplified discovery. PayPal didn't invent payments. It simplified transactions. Instagram didn't invent photography. It simplified sharing. Zoom didn't invent video conferencing. It simplified participation. And simplification often becomes the catalyst for mass adoption. Then came 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic created one of the most dramatic workplace disruptions in modern history. Offices closed. Schools closed. Universities closed. Conferences disappeared. Travel collapsed. Millions of people suddenly needed a new way to connect. Not eventually. Immediately. The world required digital presence. And Zoom happened to be ready. What followed was extraordinary. Organizations around the world launched an unprecedented experiment. Could work happen remotely? Could education happen remotely? Could healthcare happen remotely? Could collaboration happen remotely? Zoom became one of the primary platforms supporting that experiment. Businesses used it. Schools used it. Governments used it. Hospitals used it. Families used it. A software platform became critical infrastructure, almost overnight. Historically, work and location were deeply connected. If you worked somewhere, you generally traveled there. The office wasn't simply where work happened. It was part of the definition of work. Zoom challenged that assumption. The workplace became less about geography, more about connectivity. A team could be distributed across cities, countries, continents, and still collaborate daily. An extraordinary shift. Perhaps Zoom's most important contribution was psychological. It normalized a new idea. Being present does not necessarily require being nearby. A teacher could instruct students from hundreds of miles away. A doctor could consult with patients remotely. A company could operate without a central office. The distinction between physical presence and participation began to blur. Technology altered expectations. Again, before Zoom, video meetings often felt special, rare, occasional, reserved for specific situations. After Zoom, video meetings became routine. Daily stand-ups, weekly check-ins, class lectures, client meetings, family gatherings. A behavior that once felt unusual became normal. And when behaviors become normal, they become culture. Why Zoom really matters. Many people assume Zoom's importance stems from technology. Technology mattered, but the deeper story is adoption. Video conferencing existed before Zoom. Zoom helped make people actually want to use it. That distinction is crucial. History is filled with inventions. Far fewer inventions become habits. Far fewer habits become infrastructure. Zoom crossed that threshold. Researchers continue debating the long-term effects of remote and hybrid work. How does it affect productivity, creativity, company culture, innovation? Those debates continue. What is not debated is that Zoom helped accelerate one of the largest workplace transformations in modern history. The question is no longer whether remote collaboration works. The question is how it will continue evolving. Throughout Bay Origins, we've watched Silicon Valley repeatedly reduce the importance of distance. Cisco connected networks. Google connected information. Facebook connected relationships. LinkedIn connected careers. Zoom connected people when physical proximity wasn't possible. The company represents another chapter in the Bay Area's recurring story. A technology exists. Someone dramatically improves the user experience. Adoption accelerates. Behavior changes. The pattern repeats. And the world changes. Which brings us back to the question at the heart of Bay Origins. Why did it happen here? Perhaps because Silicon Valley repeatedly understands that the greatest opportunities often aren't found in inventing something entirely new. They're found in making existing technology simple enough for everyone to use. The Innovator's Ledger. Lesson 1. Adoption matters more than invention. Zoom didn't invent video conferencing. It made video conferencing mainstream. Innovation without adoption has limited impact. Lesson 2. Simplicity scales. Complex products struggle to spread. Simple products spread rapidly. Reducing friction often creates more value than adding features. Lesson 3. Crises accelerate existing trends. Remote work existed before Zoom. Video conferencing existed before Zoom. The pandemic accelerated trends already underway. Great companies are often prepared when the world suddenly changes. Founders question, Zoom succeeded by simplifying an existing technology that many people found frustrating. What technology in your industry already exists but remains difficult enough that most people avoid using it? Closing. Zoom did not invent video conferencing. It did not invent remote work. And it did not invent collaboration. What it reinvented was accessibility. A meeting became a link. A workplace became a network. And distance became less important than connection. The office did not disappear, but the definition of presence changed forever. And once again, the transformation emerged from the Bay Area. This is Bay Origins, birthplace of the future.